Hi, Rod Fleming in the Philippines here, and we were talking about the Maya Forstater debacle, the fiasco, the Forstater fiasco of lies, untruth, deceit and innuendo. And I think we need to be aware, if you're like me and you care about HSTS, and I do, and I make no bones about that, I'm not ashamed to say that I am attracted to HSTS, and I support them. They are unquestionably the most vulnerable group in contemporary society. The AGPs aren't particularly vulnerable. AGPs are fairly well capable of looking after themselves, usually. HSTS are extremely vulnerable. And the problem is that the backlash which is being engineered by people like Maya Forstater, Kelly J. Keen Minshaw, aka alias, what did she call herself? Posey Parker. How twee. The backlash that they are trying to engineer, which may, when you look at the situation regarding AGPs, have some merit, and not as much as they think it does, but I think it may have, there is an area of concern that's legitimate, which needs explanation rather than action, to be honest with you. But the people who are going to get harmed by this the most are HSTS. They're going to be damaged because, as ever, the feminists will refuse to accept that they even exist. And I've never really worked out why this is. I think it may be that feminists have this weird understanding of alliance with the new gay man, and they know that the new gay man doesn't want any HSTS to transition because he wants the meat. He wants the new, he wants as many young pre-transsexual boys to become gay men, as if there was ever any such a bloody thing, gay men as possible, because that's the only thing that keeps the new gay man going. You have to remember, the new gay man did not exist, simply didn't exist until 1950. It came about because of ideas by an English writer called A.J. I think Simons, certainly Simons, and a German writer called Benedict Friedlander at the end of the 19th century, and then we had a couple of wars and everything got slowed up, but when in 1950 they were crystallized into a new movement of homosexual men in the United States, which was extremely masculinist, right? They didn't want any feminine boys around at all. They just wanted, everybody who was feminine had to pretend to be masculine, So the last thing they want is people transitioning, because every time one of the new gay man, because most of them are feminine gays who are pretending to be masculine. And of course, when they see somebody like Blair White or some other HSTS wandering down the street looking gorgeous, carrying it off, passing, being what they always wanted to be, then they get really upset. They get very angry about it because they know that they threw away their chance to live their actual dream, right? They threw away the opportunity to be women or trans women because they succumbed to the kind of pressure that, fair enough, peer pressure, relentless pressure from parents, relentless pressure from church, relentless pressure from shrinks and academics, that the one thing they must never do is trans. Don't be trans. Or you can be a homo if you like, but whatever you do, don't be trans. My God, that's terrible. And that's what they've been living through for decades, since 1950. And personally, I think we're starting to see a little bit of an unraveling at the seams here, and that's a bloody good thing. It's absolutely appalling that these people, these boys, are forced to pretend that they're men when what they actually are is girls. And it's just shocking. And I've said this before, the kind of people like that idiot, plank-headed idiot, Amitai, and many others, who see the world in these absolutely essentialist, Apollonian, Platonic terms. Right? Boys can be girls. It's all to do with their sexuality. And if you have inverted sexuality, why on earth would you pretend that you were a man? It's absolutely ludicrous. These people, what they want is a nice big hairy straight man to do them. No gay man in the West today has not a hope of that happening, because straight men would just look at them, God, no, I'm not going near you, you're gay. However, if that person had transitioned and turned into a girl at a time when she had a chance to carry it off, well, they might well say, that's rather nice. Fancy a dinner sometime. You see what I mean? So the gays are, notoriously anti-trans. The radfems have always been anti-trans, basically because they see it in territorial terms. Sorry, look at my time here. This is about, basically, the radfems saying, no, this is, being woman is our territory. You're not allowed to touch it, right? You are just a thing with XY chromosomes, right? So you are subhuman. And you're not allowed to tread on the hallowed land that is reserved for those with double X chromosomes. And of course, what little transsexuals like Sam and all the rest of them go is, fuck you. Screw you. I'll do what I like. And they're right. There's no right of property in a likeness. They can look what they bloody like. They want to look like the most gorgeous women on the planet, and some of them are. Then that's just tough titty for the feminists. Too bad. Perhaps you should look at your own appearance, lose a little bit of weight, get rid of those horrible old sweaters. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. We all know what feminists are like. They can't go around trying to destroy people because those people are exercising their perfectly legitimate right to self-expression. And just to finally, that's 7 minutes here, just to finally point out where I'm coming from here, because people seem to be a little bit confused. I'm a libertarian. I believe passionately that everyone has the right to do anything they want with their own bodies as long as they don't harm anyone else. That's simple. Nobody has the right to say to some other person, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't be a girl. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a woman. I'm not letting you be a woman because you've got XY chromosomes. Screw that. I ain't having that. I'm not a left-winger. I'm a right-winger. I'm a conservative. I'm a libertarian. We are the opposite of liberals. Liberals don't want people to be free. Liberals want people to do as they're told. That's what liberalism is all about. Do what the mass says. Do what the collective says. The greater good for the greater number. That's what it's all about. But people like me are saying, no. The individual comes first. If you don't protect the individual, you can't protect anyone. Your society will turn into a fascist dictatorship in no time whatsoever. And that's what we have regularly seen. As soon as people are prevented from being themselves, well, it's only a matter of time before they start digging the graves and get the guns out. I'm serious. That's what happens. But liberals, that's what they want. They don't want you thinking for yourself. They don't want you making decisions for yourself. They don't want you saying, oh, my God, here I am. I'm a boy, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old. I absolutely love men. I think I'll just be a girl. Get myself a nice man. They don't want that. They don't want you to make that decision. What they want you to do is say, oh, suffer a lifetime of misery, full of gender dysphoria. And you tell me, a gay man that you know, who isn't actually autogynephilic, who's actually a sexual invert, who isn't miserable with gender dysphoria. They all are. They all bloody are. And you meet them and it's very quickly, that bitterness, that anger that they have, that's what it is. It's gender dysphoria. And that's happening because people don't let them be themselves. And I'm saying, be yourself. You want to be a girl, be a girl. I'll support you. I'll support you. I'm fixed up. I've got my girl. This is not because I want, thousands more little trans girls around the place. There are hundreds of thousands of them here already, in case you hadn't noticed. I'm fixed up. That's not the point. The point here is to protect the individuals. Anyway, that's enough of that. I will come back to another one in just a moment. See you later.